oh, Henry, Walter, Finley, Laurel, and Kelly, please go out. It's at Brownsburg East Middle School. It's a lot of fun to watch a cross-country meet, so please be there.
All right, so University has gathered some of its best tennis players because tomorrow at 6:30 at the IRC, University will be playing against a team called the Eagle Blues instead of the Blue Eagles. But we will play that here at 6:30.
And Cult Cinema has a meeting after school today in room 103.
We will be showing one of my favorite comedies. It is called A Fish Called Wanda.
Okay, just a reminder, if you got an email from Katie about a stats form, please fill it out. It'll take you like 2 seconds. Thank you.
GSA is going to be meeting today. We have a really fun meeting planned, so please come out. It's in Mr. Oliver's room.
Just a college counseling reminder for seniors. Please make sure that your score list in the applied and applying column are reflecting all the schools that you're sending applications to. I think a lot of you have done a good job of making sure that those are the same, but just double check, make sure that we're sending materials to the right place. And then come see me if you need any help figuring out which schools require official SAT and ACT scores versus self-reported scores, because we'll want to get those official scores ordered soon if schools require those. Okay, thanks.
NHS is meeting after school today in 107. We're going to have a quick meeting and then an optional service project after.
The pickleball tournament for the Legacy Project is next Wednesday during Flex.
Hi guys, Unimpoverished is going to be having a bake sale on Monday. We're going to be selling before school and pretty much all day.
And all proceeds are going to Dayspring, which is a really great shelter downtown for families. So buy some goods.
Hey there, really quick, just a reminder, pick up your photo packets, and if you're somebody who has a last name that starts with S and you tried to go pick up your photo packets and you couldn't find them, it was because they were hiding in the W's. So go back and look again, because now the S's are in the S's. So have a good weekend.
If you want to play board games, come to room 105 after school. If you want pizza, bring like $5. We normally get pizza at around 6. Thank you.
And Callie Hearts.
Hey, I don't need that. Hi, everyone. In case you didn't notice, there's several people wearing this lovely shirt that Annabelle Douglas designed for our play that opens tonight and goes tomorrow and Sunday, 7:30, 7:30, 2:30. It's a really fun, how did you describe it, Lamags, to the board? There we go. All right. So it's a really fun, silly play that Steve Hackwelder dies 125 times in. So it is about an hour and 15 minutes straight through, no intermission. A really fun way to spend a night instead of just, watching Netflix. So please come and support your peers. They worked really hard on this play. They made this amazing dungeon set and other things. We have a very fantastic trailer for you to watch. Student tickets are $8. Please come and support the arts. Altogether, there's 37 students involved in this production. And on Sunday, you'll find out what the spring musical is going to be. So here's a fun trailer.
is wonderful. Come out and support the play tonight, 7:30 Saturday, 7:30 Sunday at 2:30. I would like to, but Mrs. Wallerstein is going to introduce our guest in a hot moment, but I would like to say the following. I enjoy reading books. I enjoy playing video games on my phone. I enjoy listening to music through headphones and AirPods. Those are all things I should not be doing right now. Great. All right, Mrs. Wallerstein. Great.
Hello. I am really excited for you guys today. You are in for a treat. Many of you have already met my friend Elana. She will be in your class, many of your classes today. Elana Landa is a writer, traveler, and teacher, here to share her experiences and insights with us. She's born in Peru. She studied literature and modern language, not only in her home country, but also in Denmark and Germany, before moving to the United States, which is now her adopted home. She is an independent writer and passionate about learning and exploring the world. Her journeys have taken her across continents, filling her with stories that capture the beauty, challenges, and wonder of life. In her presentation, The Stories Between the Steps, Elana will share how these experiences have shaped her writing and personal growth, inspiring us to find stories in every step of our own journeys. She has authored 2 books. She's on her 3rd, so I hope that you guys will have a chance to read it. And please help me give a warm welcome to Elana Landa.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it works? Okay. Great. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for this amazing opportunity to be here. This is a gift for me. Thank you for allowing me to spend time with you all. I have to do a little disclaimer, okay? I'm an extreme introvert. Extreme introvert. So you see how I'm shaking? Yeah? So I have tried to provide you with a lot of visual images there for when my talk becomes boring. Please, please, please feel free to look at those windows, okay? Be lost in the paths of your own imagination. And you're free to do that. You're welcome to do that because usually I'd rather be out there, sitting, listening, and just thinking something else, okay? So it's normal. So today I want to take you on a journey, my journey of becoming a writer, and show you how the steps we take, being the smallest to the great ones, holy stories worth telling. I was born in Peru. Let me see. Ah, there. Oh, I didn't see that part of canvas. And my canvas wasn't that canvas. Didn't appear, but that's Lima. All right, so I was born in Peru to a mother who taught literature and a father who was a special education teacher and with a deep passion for books and storytelling. Since I was a little girl, I was surrounded by books, but they weren't typical children's books. My parents worked long hours, and usually they held 2 jobs. So I was in the company of my cat. I was the only child, had a cat, and the room filled with books, classic novels that belonged to my parents. The only books with pictures were Greek mythology illustrated. And I'm a 6-year-old. Greek mythology illustrated. Okay, so there is not a picture of Prometheus there hanging on the cliff of the mountain because he's punished by Zeus and waiting for the eagle to come to eat his innards. So I spared you the gore because it's an image that I can't take off my head. So instead you have Fantomas, the phantom. Okay, the other books with pictures were the Lee Falk 1939 comics. My father was an avid reader of that too. So classic novels, mythology, and fantomas. Okay, so you see these early encounters with mythology and superheroes left a lasting impression on me, perhaps a bit too early. But it was the spark that ignited creativity, imagination, and something that I put into my novels, in my writing too. I love superhero, I love mythology, and I try to incorporate that in my writing. So you can imagine now that reading beyond my years and being an introverted kid, very introverted, okay, it didn't help me with my social skills. At school, it was very, didn't go long until I realized I was different than most of the kids. In my head, I couldn't just play hide and seek or anything easy. I had to play with other kids, elaborated war scenes. Okay. And so often I was trying to persuade kids to play pirates because I play with toy stores and army soldiers because my father wanted to have a son instead of a daughter. And it was a cultural thing in Peru. Your firstborn should be a man. Okay, so it was a cultural thing, all right? So reading and all that, I tried to persuade my classmates to play pirates. And usually, thank you. Usually, the goal was to find a treasure chest full of jewelry. Because yes, I was playing with swords, but I also love jewelry, as you can tell. I was a girl. All right, so why am I telling you all this? Because I want to encourage you to, to look into your own life. Look into your own life and the richness of it, the details of your origin. Where do you come from? What made you? What will influence your writing? We are shaped by the experiences, the books we read, the movies we watch, and the places we visit, and those corners where we find comfort, the games we play, the people we meet, every scent that transport us through time to another place. Every taste, like this cinnamon tea, is going to remind me of you. And the sound, all this holds a story waiting to be told. Our childhood is the first step in our journey of becoming a recorder of life, a writer. As I develop the main character in my novels, Mila is the main character, named after my great-grandmother. And her name was Luz Mila, and so I just chopped it off and put Mila, okay? And I drew from all the experiences from my childhood and all the experiences in general. She too grew up loving books and facing challenges that mirror my own. Sometimes without realizing it, I used my writing to heal layers of pain from my past, weaving my memories into her story. I believe this strengthens characters and strengthens our writing because it helps us to tell the truth. Our characters have a voice. They tell us the truth. It makes our characters authentic. Another important step in my journey was traveling. though my parents were humble bohemians. Yes, they were bohemians. My mother would still take me to the Northern Highlands where she was born, and we didn't fly, okay? Like in my novel, Mila flies everywhere, but also takes buses and goes by foot, but mostly flies. And we took buses from one town to another town, many times, like 8-hour long rides. That was nothing. Like here, 8 hours, it's like a long trip. You better just fly, all right? For us, it was long trips like that. And what I loved was that it gave me hours of time, free time to observe, to reflect, even to pray. My mother shared her faith with me, and she also taught me to be a traveler, not a tourist. There is a difference. She taught me to explore the heart of a town by walking through its streets, by going to the market, tasting the food, eating at the market, seeing the people, immerse myself in the colors, the sounds, the flavors. And these are the first seeds of my love for traveling. And after my parents passed away, when I was 10, I continued to travel on my own at age of 13, although the travel was a little bit different. It took one relative, put me on a bus, and made the bus driver the caregiver until another relative would pick me up in the other place. So this brings me to another important part of my journey in my novels. I try to honor my mother with my writing, okay, and all the strong women that I met along the way. And I want to empower women to, like, you're going to have a play about strong women, I think. So, perfect. I want to empower women to be strong, to be smart, to be independent, and to pursue, to develop your mind, your soul, your body, to strengthen. We have different strengths. Okay, so that love for adventure became real in an unexpected way when I faced one of the most intense moments in my life. So at 17, when I was 17, I was held hostage by a terrorist group named MRTA. It was a terrorist group. MRTA stands for Movimiento Revolucionario Tupac Amaru. Not Tupac, not the rapper, Tupac Amaru, the original Tupac. Okay, so this is the revolutionary movement of Tupac Amaru. They terrorized the northern part of Peru. And on that particular day, they blocked the road, the main road. So I'm showing you these pictures of Peru because you can picture where I was when I was 17. And we have many mountains, very high mountains. On that particular day, they blocked, as I said, they blocked the road, and they make us walk, the people from the buses, and it was more than 60 people. And they took us inside a restaurant that was along the edge of the road. And you have to picture this high mountain, the middle of the mountain, the front door was to the main road, and the back door of the restaurant is to the edge, to a cliff, okay? And below, way down below, there is a river, way below. So we were like half the mountain. And this is road, this is the restaurant, and this is the edge, okay? A little path there. So we were sitting on the ground, all of us sitting on the ground and waiting for hours. And suddenly, the back door opens. We didn't even know. I don't think we actually thought of opening the door. No one moved. All of us were like sitting there where they left us. The door opens like quietly, and then one soldier walks in. And then another one, like ninjas, and making us like, quiet, quiet, right? Lay on your bellies. They just whisper, lay on your bellies and don't get up. Lay on your bellies. As soon as that, it's like in seconds, there was a helicopter hovering over the building. The army had been so quiet. The soldiers have been hiking up the mountain so that the terrorists wouldn't see them because the terrorists were in this part. And then the war, after that, the war just broke loose. It was the shots. And you saw, a lot of people, when they say that when they are facing death, they see their lives pass before their eyes. Might be true, but I don't know that. In my case, my head, I'm 17 years old, lying on the ground, and my head is like time stopped, and my head was in a box, like compressed inside a box. And my hearing got sharper. And and there's something that I can't take off. I focused on the sound. It's a compact sound of machine gun. And the bullets felt like they were flying over our heads. And it was like, the sound recorded in my memory is pack, 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 pack. Okay? So that is my life passing, my 17 years of life. It wasn't like that for me. It was this experience, okay? And it was like that, pack, 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 and then silent. I don't know for how long. Felt like an eternity, but that was it. The terrorists escaped through the upper part because they are also wearing green. No, the terrorists have uniforms, so they're wearing green, and they just flee into the jungle. And the army, after securing the place, the area, allowed us to go out and continue. Some people just continue through the journey. And my uncle, who is a doctor, and was taking medicine to another town. My uncle and a friend from Holland and I returned home to this town where it looks like this, the part of town, because this is Moyobamba. This is the jungle part where my family also lived. My doctor, my uncle, the doctor, lived, helping tribes in this area. So we went back home, and the adults went to sleep, to sleep the experience off. They disappear into their rooms. And I just left the house and started wandering the streets. And I didn't know where to place the experience. Yeah? So I share this because life can be unpredictable and dangerous. But these moments, whether terrifying or thrilling, these moments are what make us. And this gives me the raw material for my writing, you know? And shapes these moments, they're hard, shape us in ways that we can't always see or fully feel at the time. For me, they give me material for my stories, and these are the stories between the steps that make us who we are. And if you ask me if I would change any of that, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't be the person who is standing before you right now. Later that year, 17 years old, I continued traveling across Peru and beyond. And let's see, that's me, 17 years old. And that man that you see, that is the Dutch person, the Dutch friend that, you remember, I lost my parents when I was 10. So this family took me in and gave me shelter and provided for me, and to start living for a little bit with a family before I started living on my own. So after that, I continue traveling across Peru and beyond to the neighboring countries as well. And often walking long distances, taking whatever form of transportation was available to the next town. I travel long distance on foot, by bus, by pickup trucks, by trucks, many times overnight. I was sitting on potato sacks or corn sacks the buses were transporting. And not very comfortable. I don't recommend it as a form of travel, all right? But the one good, cool thing is that at night, if the pickup truck or the truck doesn't have a roof, is that you can lay there and just stare at the sky and fall asleep. So let me see, where am I? And I often also travel by horseback. Many times the sun, the dust, the rain, feeling on my face and breathing the scent of freedom. And freedom might not smell like roses and flowers and sweet things, okay? Freedom, sometimes in my case, was the fumes of diesel or gasoline or cattle manure, or rotting fruits, or nice food being cooked in some stove, okay? This traveling, especially walking, is where my creativity comes alive, where I'm wandering, whether I'm wandering the mountains of Peru or following ancient paths in Europe or in Israel too. The journeys have taught me to keep moving forward, even though I feel lost. When I was held hostage, that experience at 17, it was the prelude to 3 months in Israel. I spent 3 months in Israel in the 90s. Let's see if it will follow us. That's during my studies in Europe. Few pictures. I have more, but I wouldn't want to bore you with us. But it's from Israel, the summer of 1996. And I witnessed there also a series of heartbreaking experiences. 4 times I was stuck in the Jerusalem bus station waiting for the army to deactivate bombs. And also, one of the times going to visit one of my friends at a kibbutz, I was stuck on the road again, where there is a confrontation and gunfights going back and forth. And then the last thing was the Jerusalem bombing. And that also was the day of my birthday. I was supposed to go and buy things for my birthday party that night to celebrate with my friends, but I fell asleep and didn't go. And while I fell asleep and didn't go, is when the bombing happened. And see, from my time, and that's my army friends, because I wanted to join the army, but they convinced me that I was too skinny and thin and frail to join the army, so I didn't do it. This is where I took these pictures because there were people there that I bought for 3 months. I had bought food from those vendors that were no more. Okay, moving on. That's me on my birthday. We still celebrate it. We celebrate life. I still celebrated my birthday on that. That's me in 1996. Okay, so no more hard stuff and difficult stories. So what I wanted to tell you is this, that the experiences I went through found their way into my characters and the stories. Nothing is wasted. This is what, indeed, the stories between the steps that make my journey, and it's a journey that craves change and movement. And in the last few years, I challenged myself to make a dream come true. I walked 300 miles, walked on for 300 miles from Porto to Santiago de Compostela in Galicia, Spain. And some of you might have already made this or know about the Camino de Santiago de Compostela. There are like 25 different routes. So I took the Camino Portuguese route, and it's one of the most solitary. You don't see, you walk without seeing people at all. And it's just you, the path, the ocean, and that's it. And I walked, it's called Camino Portugués, and I tried to reconnect who I was. Who was that girl before? But what happened is that I found who I'm becoming. Not just see who I was and take the person who I was, but meet her and move on because I'm becoming someone new. And, you know, I wanted to do this Camino de Santiago since the 90s when The Alchemist was published, a book by Paulo Coelho. And I thought, I have to do this path. I have to go and walk because it's a call for adventure, but adventure and courage, okay? So I have a few quotes that from the book, from The Alchemist, that you probably know, and you probably already read the book. And if not, it's a beautiful story, very short, and it's a fun, adventurous little tale. And there is one of the quotes: when you want something, the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. You probably heard that and you saw it in a quote somewhere, but it comes from The Alchemist. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. And the next one, the secret of life is to fall 7 times and get up 8 times. And there is one that it is very meaningful for me. The whole book is meaningful, but this quote says that, tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and eternity. And I'm going to read one more quote of the book, and this is for us this moment, okay? Life is eternal. We have stopped for a moment to encounter each other, to meet, to love, to share. This is a precious moment. It is a little parenthesis in eternity. So those are Paulo Coelho's words, not mine. But the sentiment, the feeling, it's there for you today, for welcoming me. So as you can tell, a lot of life happened between the 90s and now. And after walking the Camino Portugués, I walked Camino del Norte. I think some of your teachers have done that too, and maybe peers have too. It's one of the hardest caminos to walk, 600 miles of, and especially the first few weeks is high mountains, rocky mountains, steep mountains, no progressively going higher, but like that, go mountain, down. So it's very, very hard. And it was special for me to walk these steep paths because it were the paths that the resistance used during the Second War to save lives, to save especially children, to walk through those steep mountains. And And I just can't, as I was walking, you know, I thought of those kids without special hiking gear. They walk in the night, and those are rocky mountains, very steep. The path, I'm not kidding you or exaggerating, but is for one person. And one slip, you roll down in rock down to the Cantabrian Sea. Okay, so it's death. Imagine walking at night and trying not to be seen. And so if you saw, this is Camino Norte, if you see any of the pictures, the landscape like those look familiar to you, it's because that's one of the locations for Game of Thrones filming. So, and the next challenging for me, I'm finishing, I'm done. It's writing my third novel and writing a nonfiction as well of meditations and walking. And I want to end this also walking. I have 2 more walks, 800 miles, one from Notre Dame to Santiago, from Paris and Notre Dame to Santiago, 800 miles, and in Japan, the Shikoku Henro, 88 temples, and it's 1,200 kilometers. So that's it, and I just want to leave you with this. Keep walking, keep learning, keep writing, those of you aspiring writers. The stories between the steps, now your steps are waiting to be told. And trust me, they're worth sharing. Thank you so much for having me here.